Good evening, everybody. I'm Eddie Winchester, and to my left,
Cat Quinn.
and always to my right is...
Cadaver the Clown.
And this is Folklore&Felonies. So, what are we discussing tonight?
Tonight, we are discussing the suspects and folklore of the Texarkana Moonlight Murders. So, getting right into it, where we left off in the last episode. If you haven't listened and or watched that yet, you should probably stop right now and go watch that one. And, while you're at it, come back and watch this one. And then go and watch our other.
Should we do it like every other YouTuber? It's going to be put right here.
And just right there, right or here.
Click the link here.
Just...
Here, there, everywhere. It's going to be somewhere on the screen. We got a lot of blank space underneath us, like over there and over
I think we got like a logo or something down there. I'm not sure.
Oh, is that what's down there?
I think so. I see my shorts. Does that count? Penis, I see.
So tonight, we are starting with the suspects. Now, keep in mind, this is the 1940s of it all. But these guys actually did their due diligence. It wasn't just that local police was keeping this all close to the chest and not sharing anything with anyone. No, they actually got others involved and they did the due diligence. Texas Rangers were involved, sheriff's departments, surrounding counties sent extra officers, like basically anybody and everybody who could possibly be sent on this was. Why? Well, not only because it was serial killings or multiple killings, because serial killer wasn't coined yet. They had 40 suspects to investigate. 400 suspects to investigate. That's a lot.
400 there were suspects in this? I didn't even realize
that's a lot of dudes.
That's a lot of boobs.
There was a lot. Naturally, with the 400 suspects to investigate came numerous false tips, 9 false confessions, including one in a suicide note, but the facts never lined up about it. Couldn't really go anywhere any particular way. However, now before I get into this part of the investigation, I'm going to butcher this name, and I am so sorry for it, but I'm going to do my damnedest. So Max Tackett and Charlie Boyd, who were Arkansas State Troopers, have been investigating car thefts after finding that on the night of Richard and Polly's murders, a car had been stolen in the area. They track it down in July to 29-year-old, I am so sorry, Yul
Sweeney. Yes, Yul Sweeney.
Did I say it right? Yeah. Yes. Okay. So from this point moving forward,
really not many other ways to go there. Yule Sweeney.
Ooh la la.
Get him a croissant. So from this point moving forward, I'm referring to him as
that's croissant.
So who is this guy? He was a townie who had been in and out for petty charges for years. While he was in custody, his wife, Peggy, claimed that Sweeney was the Phantom Killer. She then later recanted.
She dimed him out.
She straight up said, "Hey, guys, I got your guy," and then immediately backtracked and was like, "Just kidding. It wasn't him."
Can't trust nobody.
Too high.
So due to the law at the time, she couldn't be forced to testify against him. Like there was no such thing as partners testifying against partners during.
But they lobotomized her.
They did
because that's what they did back then.
They did not look. This is the 40s, not the 20s. We
man, that's how you got a generation of Stepford wives,
Thank you so much for joining this TED Talk, Cadaver. We really appreciate it. So Peggy couldn't testify against him. Peggy was given so much information by someone.
So was her name actually Peggy, or was that like a shortened version of a name there?
I couldn't find an actual, if it was short for Margaret or.
She was only listed as Peggy.
As Peggy.
But for real though, I've never understood like how Margaret and Peggy do that whole thing. Just like Richard and Dick. Why?
Dick, Theodore and
Ted, I understand.
Teddy, Ted,
And Theodore, I understand, yeah.
where do you get Billy from William?
That's a good question.
Billy?
But seriously, Richard from Dick.
Dick from Richard, you mean?
Incidentally, the other day I was at a stoplight and there was a truck next to me and it was all souped up. And on the side, it said Richard Cranium Solutions. Just think about that for a second.
Nope, not going there. So anyways, back to Peggy.
Ed's really thinking, he's like, oh, yeah, that means dickhead, bro.
Yes, I know.
They did that specifically for that.
I
So,
took a picture. I had to.
so Piggy, good gods, cut that. I mean, their Sweeney is spelled Swiney. I pronounced it Swiney the first time I saw it, so
Yule Swiney.
it works. She had so much information that she was able to verify locations of victims' possessions. Naturally, though, circumstantial evidence wouldn't hold up without her testimony. So because she recanted, basically this confession has meant nothing and they couldn't actually...
Oh, easy, Bateman.
The murder charges were dropped, but they were able to get him on repeated car thefts for a sentencing of 27 years.
Yeah, he was a repeat offender.
So he got out in the 60s. That seems like a lot more fun.
Well, perhaps related, perhaps not. Perhaps this jackass is the guy we're looking for. There was not another phantom killing after his incarceration.
He was the main suspect to be the phantom killer.
Yep.
I don't know. He seems like the type of doofus that would do that. Take your pants off, you know? I don't know.
Well, with a name like Swiney,
But another thing, he wasn't from Texarkana.
I couldn't actually find anything on where he was initially from.
I bet you he's from Ohio.
Just that he was a townie. So, I mean...
From what I read, he was just, pretty much like a drifter. He was just, just passing through.
Drifter with a wife? That's... Well, and I mean, if you're already doing so much with your time, for lack of better terms, to where you've got so many...
He actually is from Arkansas, Cleveland County, Arkansas.
Right there. How close to the Texarkana border?
I don't know. That's a good question.
And this is why we have Cadaver.
So yada, yada, yada. North Little Rock.
Use our Google without our Google.
That was North Little Rock, so it's a little while away.
Okay.
That makes sense.
Doesn't really mean anything, though, because he still made his way down there, then that means.
Yeah.
But yeah, so according to this, because of being a repeat offender, he received life in prison, but he was released from prison in 1973 following a habeas corpus proceeding, which found that a prior conviction in 1941 used for sentence enhancement purposes was void because he had not been represented by counsel.
That's what he got out on?
Yep. A paperwork mistake.
Wow.
So,
well, not really a paper. That's a huge, if you look in the legal counsel world, that's a huge problem because it means they just railroaded him. Mm-hmm. So they might have had their real guy, but the fact of the matter is he didn't get to spend the entirety of his life in jail because somebody decided we're going to rush this and not do it the right way.
Well, the Texarkana police, they got him. They already said, like, that's our guy. We're going to do whatever it takes to put him behind bars.
And plus, you've got his wife telling you where shit's at. You go to that location and the shit's actually there. You've got your guy. But
I mean, though, if she knew, she should have been a little more like, reporting him, a little more quickly, if you know what I'm saying there.
Would you just straight up rat out your partner if you knew something like that was going on, though?
If she was a mass murdering fuckhead, yeah. You know why? Because I'd be afraid that one day she'd get mad at me and then fucking smother me while I'm sleeping or something.
Get them bracelets ready.
Fair. But again, you also have to think of the 1940s of it all. Like, there's no...
I told you to do the dishes. Yes, honey. I'm right away. Right away. Don't kill me.
And that's exactly how the situation that happened earlier today.
And that basically is. That's why. Yeah.
But there was one guy that he didn't necessarily get interviewed, but he was following the case ever since I think he was like 19, like maybe like early 20s. And he stated that he doesn't think it was Yul Sweeney.
I mean,
He says he had not substantial evidence, like nothing concrete, but like everything that he's gathered doesn't seem to go in the direction of Yul Sweeney. In his opinion, he states that Yul Sweeney was the guy to pin it on.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't even gotten to the point where we get to cuss and discuss. Gentlemen, damn. Because now I'm looking at this going like, okay, so if you go from stealing cars to having 5 murder victims and you didn't touch their car at any point in time?
That's the thing, like...
Maybe he was doing it for a change of pace.
Escalation?
His MO was stealing cars, so exactly. So, okay, say it was Yul Sweeney.
Right.
He murdered these people, but he didn't touch the cars. His MO, he was a car thief.
Right.
Yeah, but now if you're trying to switch over to something else, then why would you touch the cars? Because it would lead them directly back to you.
Right.
Now, the other thought process. All right, have you ever eaten the same thing over and over and over again? You get flavor fatigue. Maybe he just got tired and exhausted to just mess with cars.
Certain and wanted to switch it up.
Yeah, I'm going to be known because I'm going to kill people. Okay,
right.
Cool. But nobody's going to know who the fuck you are. Because apparently somebody said you're black, somebody said you're white, somebody said you're wearing a mask, and the only thing we know for sure is you tried to get this guy to take his pants off.
Right.
So other than Yul Sweeney, since he was the suspect, he was the main suspect that the police were after, who were the other suspects? Because he was the main one.
Right. But that's the thing about it. The other 400 suspects that were investigated all led to false tips, false confessions. Like I said, 9 false confessions, including 1 in a suicide note. The facts of it just never lined up. It was never as straightforward and cut and dry as Sweeney having his wife come forward and saying, hey, not only is it him, but here's the location of things that you guys are looking for.
Hey, so just on that with the suicide note, I think this goes along with the weird names of the time. Can you tell people what that guy's name was?
The suicide? Give me 2 seconds. The first thing that pops up, a Texarkana man facing child sex abuse charges, allegedly. Not what we are looking for.
Nope.
Not at all.
If you want, I can give it to you.
Please and thank you, because it's not pulling up on...
Henry Booker Tennyson, but his nickname was Doodie. Doodie. Mm-hmm.
What a nickname.
I mean, I feel like, is it better than, Yul Sweeney, Doodie? It's like a freaking cast of characters from, like, the Appalachian Mountains.
Like, these names ain't helping these people, bro.
They're really not.
That's Doodie, and my cousin Cooter said that it was...
And then Peggy came in out of nowhere. However, one of the surviving victims, Mary Jean Larry, she actually came back to try to help with the case multiple times.
Mm-hmm.
However, being not only an attack victim, but also a young woman attacked at her lover's lane, she lost her credibility as far as police were concerned because they questioned and often wondered if her morality could be trusted. Mm-hmm. So therefore, her assisting in any of this was automatically thrown out based on just that alone. So did they really do their due diligence here? I mean...
If you don't mind me adding into this, one of the possible suspects they had was a German prisoner of war.
Hey.
They claimed that he escaped and they were hunting him and that he wound up stealing cars and then vanished into thin air. Yeah.
And this was a who now?
A German prisoner of war.
Does he have a name?
Nope.
Nothing.
Nope. I bet you his name is Franz or something.
Frankfurt?
Well, I was going to be like, could it possibly be Yule? But
That's what I was thinking.
It's of British origin.
But Yule was born in Arkansas.
Doesn't mean anything.
So it'd be hard to be a German prisoner of war when you were born in the United States.
Here's the thing. Was he a American German prisoner of war, or was he a German American prisoner of war? Which side of the war? Which side of the war? What?
Both me and Ed.
Wait,
all right,
what?
I'm going to go ahead and say he's not an American German prisoner of war, because if he was a prisoner of war from America in Germany, he couldn't be in Texarkana. Now, if he were a German that came over here and was shipped over here, that's a whole different story.
No, because the murders took place between February and May of 1946.
Mm-hmm. So
World War II was over by then because...
How long do you think POWs were held?
Right, but Richard Griffin was a WW2 vet.
So
the war would have already been over by then. There would be no point to...
Think about what you're saying.
Yeah, that's why I stopped.
I mean, there were fucking people, and this is a weird one. Like, there were people during World War II that once Germany was starting with all their fighting and their everything else, there were people from the United States that were of German descent that wound up going over to fight for the fatherland.
True.
So, I mean, it was times where American soldiers would encounter Nazis and they did have American accents and spoke normal English.
So then in that case, if we're going based off of that ideology, kind of like how we were saying about Zodiac, if it was somebody else other than Sweeney, did the actual guy just stop because somebody else took the heat for it?
Possibly.
And if so,
I mean,
then
it seems like a good out.
Fair.
Like I said, like the cops, they wanted Yul Sweeney. He was public enemy number one. That's the guy that they wanted.
It's because his name had unnecessary letters in it.
But
Youell.
But the guy that has been following this case, like I said, in his opinion, it wasn't Yul Sweeney. Yul Sweeney was just a guy to pin it on.
So then how would Peggy have gotten the information if it wasn't him? Because here's the thing. Pulling shit out of your ass is one thing, but pulling shit out of your ass and there actually being legitimacy to it, like being able to find where things were, that...
I got to find my tinfoil for the conspiracy theory portion of it.
I mean, just like with any of our cases, there's gonna be tinfoil anywhere you look. But I mean, Sweeney got focused on more, especially in my research, simply because Peggy gave a damn good confession for him. If she was able to lead them to their actual things, and those things not being able to be put into evidence because she recanted her testimony, then that makes circumstantial evidence, and circumstantial evidence can't be administered in a court, in a trial. So
it says here, according to Casey Roberts, who is a media manager at the Texas A&M Texarkana, who has done extensive research on the crimes. In his opinion, he states that Yul Sweeney would have been easy to pin it on, and they needed to pin it on somebody.
Source, trust me, bro.
The person he hasn't been satisfied with, who was cleared of being a suspect, he states was a young man that committed suicide.
Duty!
And left a note saying that he was in fact a phantom killer.
Yeah, but he had an alibi.
How good was the alibi?
He had several people corroborate his story that on the night of the dude getting, beaten to shit, that he was playing cards with a bunch of friends. So he had several people say no, he was.
Okay, so if we go based off of that theory, then the first attack was never the Phantom Killer to begin with.
If we go based off of that theory, the guy from Texas A&M, Texarkana, wants his 15 minutes of fame. So he will wind up saying that this isn't the guy. I did a lot of research, and I'm going to say that the guy who did it is the guy who can't vouch for anything because he's dead.
Do we know when he ascended?
When he died?
Duty, yeah.
Let's see.
I just wanted to say it.
He ascended anywhere if that's the case. November 4th, 1948.
And when was the last killing?
May of
he, he confessed to the Booker, Martin, and Starks murders. He also said that he played trombone in the same high school band as Booker. They were not friends. Investigators were unable to find any other evidence linking them. Says James Freeman, along with others, provided an alibi for the night of the Starks murder, stating they had been playing cards that evening when they heard news of the attack.
So with that, obviously it couldn't have been the one that committed suicide.
So that means old boy over there's full of shit.
Not necessarily. Not necessarily. That just means that the first attack wasn't. If we're playing devil's advocate and we're looking at both sides of the coin, the first attack could not have been the actual Phantom Killer.
I mean, we're not really in the cuss and discuss portion of this, but yeah, we're going.
At this point, we're in the cuss and discuss because that's really all I've got on the suspects.
It's gonna hurt like hell, but we're doing it anyway.
Yeah, pretty much.
So yeah, I mean, I'm gonna go ahead and state that I'm of the mind that this dude from Texarkana just wanted to put his fucking hat into the ring of people who know things.
Well, that's like the guy saying that his grandfather was the Black Dahlia murderer.
That's like three people that I can think of right now.
I don't know what you're talking about, Cadaver.
So I think this was completely wrong. That's not him.
But also there was a excuse me. There was a probation officer who did his own investigation as well.
Stick to probation, bro. Stay in your lane.
I'm probably going to butcher his last name, but Mark Beldosi is a former probation officer who was obsessed with the case and conducted his own investigation. According to Mark, he developed a passion for the case in the 90s. He saw the original film when he was a 7th grader. His passion for the case was he just wanted to know the truth. Mark met a top suspect in the case. According to the paper, Mark believes he had identified, met, and interviewed and confronted the man responsible for the crime.
Whose name was?
All the evidence that I have looked and still points to him, Yul Sweeney. And when I interviewed him in 1992 in Dallas, it was the different question I asked him and his expressions. The way it knocked him back after all these years, and he got away with it.
I feel like this dude's full of shit too.
Well, hold on.
I feel like...
Hold on. He was indeed the main suspect in Paul Martin and Betty Jo Booker.
True.
Law enforcement officials were unaware that she, Peggy, because of this technicality, she could not be forced to testify against him. They were unaware that she was married to Yul Sweeney.
Oh.
And talking with different officers that went out to the scene, she told them where things were that had not been released to the public before.
Right.
By all accounts, Beldosi said the wife was mentally slow and not very bright. Her statements indicate she was with her husband during at least one pair of the murders.
So now she could have been with him. Was she there while he was doing it?
That was going to be my follow-up question.
Which would explain
why. This whole thing is turned over on its head. Was she actually there? She knows things that weren't released to the public, that weren't public knowledge. Now, did Yul actually do it, or was it her?
No.
I think it was him, because they all. The one thing that everybody had the same for all the surviving people is that it was male.
It was male.
Unless Peggy is really fucking butch.
And well, I can't say much. My sister's 6 foot, but damn it, I was really hoping I could find a height for Sweeney, but I can't find a height for Sweeney.
Your fucking research faces.
Well,
I'm going to smile like a donut.
Rude.
So now with this information, is it true? It sounds like it. That
I don't
she
know.
was there.
Or at least
Maybe.
involved in some way. Low or not,
I mean,
But-
like, was it thought that this is going to be like their Bonnie and Clyde type of moment here? You know,
That's
Right.
that's what it kind of seems like.
right? And I mean, why else? A man going to a lover's lane alone is going to raise suspicion.
that's exactly what I was getting at.
A man arriving at a lover's lane alone is going to raise suspicion. Now, take into consideration it's dark, headlights are off. I highly doubt anybody's pulling into a lover's lane with their headlights on.
Where are you going? I'm going to the lover's lane. Don't you need your wife? No, I'll pick somebody up when I get there. Don't worry about that.
Right. And this wasn't exactly the time, nor really the area to be picking up a sex worker for.
I'm not talking about picking up a sex worker.
Right. Like that's not the type of era that we were necessarily in.
As you both take a sip at the same exact time.
Maybe that's why he wanted the guy to remove his pants.
Cadaver.
What?
You know what? If she was there, maybe that was her idea.
Could be. I don't understand the pant removal.
Hold a tit. We're forgetting something. If she's there, I love how only one of you did it. If she's there,
I'm doing it. You just can't see it.
guys, if she's there, that also means that she is witnessing her husband sexually assault multiple women.
That's why I said that she is part and privy to this whole thing then.
Which kind of
Maybe they should have lobotomized her.
which kind of takes a whole Ken and Barbie killer turn on it.
I mean, maybe she's just like, maybe this was like the first iterations of like Impractical Jokers. She's like, her husband's going up there. Now tell him to take off his pants. You know?
Oh, that's horrible. No, that's horrible.
Maybe she got a thrill out of it. Him, you know, him doing all this shit.
It's a power trip.
Maybe she's the one that convinced him to do it because he was just doing petty shit, just, you know, stealing cars. Maybe she needed more of a thrill.
Maybe. How do you know that she wasn't involved on the car thefts too, and it just wasn't her thing?
But that's true.
And the whole thrill of it, yeah, maybe because it's most serial killers like that feeling of being powerful, you know. And there's not much else that can be done there when you're in a position of power that somebody's afraid of you, and they're thinking that they're gonna die by your hand. Yeah, that's got to be a pretty powerful feeling, you know.
Right.
So maybe she was into that, and maybe he was into that, and it was like some weird sort of game between them.
Because with him doing all this, maybe she's just like she's out on the sidelines and obviously watching, and she's getting a thrill out of it because, you know, the people are obviously scared.
And then he does the deed, he kills them, whatever else, and then they go home and bang like jackrabbits.
That was going to be my next thought too. And then
Could
we go
very well be.
Damn. Now I'm more Jesus. Now I'm more interested in her than I am in him.
From crime scene deets to slapping cheeks, bro. Let's go.
Hey. That's how it be sometimes. That's how it be.
Stab him, baby.
Listen, guys, when we told you that this one was going to be a rough one, we didn't realize it was going to take this far of a left turn.
I don't think I trust anybody named Peggy.
Well, no.
The whole Margaret Peggy thing still bothers me. At least Yule was upfront about his stupid ass name.
I mean,
Well, like I read like 10 minutes ago, by all accounts, Badolsi said that Peggy was mentally slow and not very bright.
But
that doesn't mean she doesn't know what turns her on.
But I mean, when you've got a person who's like that, well, let's look at Ed Gein.
It could capable.
What?
I said he was handy capable. What? He was.
Please address your angry letters to Cadaver and
I will not read them.
I will.
I do have a place for them to go. It's Cat's house.
And on the next episode of Folklore and Felonies, we're reading your direct messages to
That's right.
But
that's going to be mean tweets.
This is on the account of Badolsi, who was a
probation officer.
yeah,
right?
it was a probation officer.
So his
What does
kind
that
of
have to do with anything?
well, kind of his whole
That's what I'm
job.
trying to say. But apparently he had the pull to interview
Get
her.
in contact with the guy. Which, I mean, that's real simple. Call up the precinct and be like, hey, do me a solid. Especially in
nothing.
Dallas.
Nothing.
It also says, in talking with different officers that went out to the scene, she told them where things were that had not been released to the public before. Now, what were those things?
How much you want to bet it was the
Why was the blanket there?
that one is still going to be my question for forever.
What if that's what him and his wife were like hanging out on?
No, but wait, what wasn't
That's our
the
little picnic spot.
but wasn't the blanket in the car already?
No, the blanket was outside of the car, soaked.
Yeah, it was all bloody.
The ground beneath it was soaked. Or both the ground and the blanket were simultaneously soaked, and then the blanket laid over.
No, I'm trying to say, was the blanket
Outside the car.
no, who was the one that was killed on the blanket? That was
We couldn't confirm if it was killed on the blanket, but Richard Griffin, 29, and Pollyann Moore, 17.
well, maybe it was Richard Griffin's blanket that he had in a car.
That was the first iteration of the skeet sheets, bro.
Then, like, they seen the blanket and they're like, fuck it, let's use it.
Touche, but what I'm trying to say is maybe that's where he did whatever he did before killing her, and then he killed her on top of there and moved her. So it was just there.
Which I still think that was the case.
Or he could have practiced a little necrophilia. You know what happens.
Oh.
Lay back and crack open a cold one.
Because Pollyann was the only one who wasn't noticeably assaulted. But we got this blanket just chilling out there.
I mean,
and I said it in part 1. There's something about that blanket.
It says Mark met top suspects in the cases. According to the paper, Mark believes he had identified and met and interviewed and confronted the man responsible for the crime. So how the fuck does he have the pull to do that?
First of all, let's pump the brakes here for a second. Mark did this in the 90s, correct?
Right.
Yes.
That's 50 years later. First
Right.
of all, finding people that would still be alive, okay, great, one thing. After 50 years, if you're already, like, let's say you were in your 30s or whatever else, and it's 50 years later, bro, you don't remember what happened last week. What the hell So Mark could be just fucking tooting his own horn there,
Could be.
True, but I really don't think so, because, I mean...
It says here he interviewed Yul Sweeney in 92 in Dallas.
Mm-hmm.
And Sweeney was 29 in 46 when this all happened. So, I mean, 40 years later, that's only putting him in his 70s. Early 70s at that.
Yeah.
There's still cognition there.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, the fact that he interviewed him in a prison, in a Dallas prison, did I understand that right, Ed?
No, in a nursing home.
Oh.
He was 75. He got out in 1973.
And the interview happened when?
1992.
92.
He was 75 years old.
Okay, so interview happened in 92. He's in a nursing home in 93, you said?
92.
No.
He got out in 73.
Got out in 73. I'm sorry. I heard 93 for some reason.
That's because the 3 and then the 92, so I get what you're saying.
Give it a tail and it's a 9.
2 + 2 was 4. -1, that's 3. Quick maths.
They're released in 73.
I don't know where the holdup is in this conversation. I'm just curious.
I'm trying to do the math. If his sentencing was only 27 years,
it wasn't actually 27 years.
Right.
It was an appeal that was pushed out because they screwed it up.
Right.
So, yeah, he went in and then, yeah.
Continuously go back in after he was released for this?
Nope. Double jeopardy, brother.
Well, no. Not double jeopardy, but going back in for other things.
I think after that long stretch, he kind of got his not really his act together, but I think he was just kind of too exhausted to do anything else.
Sure.
I mean, that's a long time to be in jail and have to watch out for your booty hole.
Yeah.
It's true.
Yeah.
His asshole was in constant jeopardy. So, I mean, I don't know if it was any different back then, you know? I mean, the jokes about prison rape are more towards nowadays, you know? But I feel like if you were to watch the movie The Green Mile, you'd probably get a good understanding.
This is true.
Walking the mile, walking the green mile.
So if he was, because I did the math real quick, if he was arrested and incarcerated in 46, was released in 73, that's the full 27-year sentence. So if he was released...
That wasn't his full sentence.
Hold on. Goes in 1946, comes out in 1973. If he didn't serve the full 27 years that was sentenced, what else did he go back in for?
He wasn't sentenced to 27 years. He was sentenced to life imprisonment. But he was only given 27 years after they found out that there was something that he wasn't represented the proper way for. So it canceled out the sentence. So he was given credit for 27 years served. He was given a life sentence because of the fact that he's a habitual offender. I think you broke her.
Oh,
So the 27 years, that's just how long he was in jail.
Right.
And then they found out that it was what they used was a previous thing, a previous charge for a sentence enhancement. That's what they gave him all that for. But they couldn't do that without actually sending him to court with counsel and everything else. So they didn't give him his right to trial. So that tossed all that out.
Okay. But then it was my math that was wrong. That's where the hiccup was coming from, because I was like, wait, hold on.
He was in for 27 years, but that was just how long he happened to be in.
Okay.
Because I'd say if they got him for multiple murders, even if they were fucking manslaughter, he'd be in for longer than 27 years.
Convicted of car theft in 1947 as a repeat offender, he received life in prison. However, he was released from prison in 1973 following the habeas corpus proceeding, which founded that prior conviction in 1941. So a totally different conviction used for sentence enhancement purposes was void because Sweeney had not been represented by counsel.
Mm-hmm.
I still think it's him.
I do too.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I still think it's him. He's. I'm not going to say he's the best, but
everything is leading in his direction. Like, regardless of what, these other people think, have their opinions, like, they don't think that it's him. The police just needed it to be him. They needed to pin it on somebody. But all the evidence leads directly to Joel Sweeney.
Yep.
And possibly Peggy. Involvement in it.
I was about to say I really like that, but I really don't like that. I hate that. Because that just makes it a whole, like I was saying earlier, a whole Bonnie and Clyde, like y'all were saying, and takes it into...
Well, I mean, for the convictions that they had, yeah, the police could have wanted him. So what this dude was saying about, oh, he's not the right person is full of shit. Because with the dude with the guy who said, okay, the police just wanted him, it made sense. If his wife was able to pinpoint evidence that was on there, that's called, in the legal terms, that's corpus delicti. So therefore, there is an irrefutable sign of proof of evidence, such as a corpse or something of that nature. Putting evidence that the public wouldn't have knowledge of definitely puts him in there. So that's more than enough. It's beyond that shadow of a doubt. So I would definitely want him too. But you see, they dicked up somewhere else because he got himself a lawyer, and that's where they brought out that habeas corpus. I mean, the habeas corpus, it's basically a legal procedure that it basically allows individuals to challenge unlawful detention. That's all it really is. So once they brought up that 1941 thing, that's it. He was gone.
Done and over.
Because they done fucked him, and that's why. And I 100%, okay, if he got screwed on something, yeah, we should go ahead and take over and check that out. But the fact of the matter is I personally think that this dude was the killer. He's your guy. I think that he matches up everything. He matches with everything, and his wife is able to give you give you notes. How are you going to have somebody else with the clip notes for the murder, Right. Sorry, I'll get off my soapbox.
Thank you for coming to Cadaver's TED Talk. Join us next time for...
Sorry for throwing out Latin and dumb shit.
So we're all in agreement that yes,
it's Sweeney.
It's Joel Sweeney.
Just because we don't have, we are not a jury of his peers. Therefore, we can take the circumstantial evidence into account and present it to the court. And Your Honor, he is guilty as a motherfucker.
I rest my case.
No further questions.
Quid Latin sit alet videtor. That's Latin. It means that which is said in Latin sounds profound.
All right.
I'm dead serious. That's what it means.
I wasn't questioning it.
That's why all legal terms are in Latin. Just like MO, modus operandi,
So now that we are all in agreement that Sweeney is our guy, that ends our suspect portion for the night. Eddie, what do you got for us for folklore?
I know that guy.
I went to school with him.
Me and him go way back.
The Phantom's disguise was another chilling detail, as it also helped to popularize the most widely known retelling of the murders. In the 1976 cult classic, The Town That Dreaded Sundown, the movie was...
Just so Cat gets it.
The Town That Dreaded Sundown.
Listen, Cadaver threw me off with the whole Lassie bit, so fuck off.
Yeah, sure. Blame it on me.
I will.
The movie was thought to be one of the first slasher films, having predated John Carpenter's Halloween by 2 years. And it takes on the Phantom would influence generations of cinematic boogeymen. How many, serial killer movies, sort of mimic the Phantom Killer?
6.
Right, yeah, got it right off the top of your head, huh?
Well, I mean, let's also take it to I Know What You Did Last Summer. The dude literally has a hook for a hand.
And this is where the
Urban legends.
Right.
Urban legends.
The director Charles B. Pierce blurred the lines between fact and fiction by telling the film in full documentary style.
Oh shit.
It was Friday, May 3rd, when Virgil and Kate Starks were attacked in their farmhouse just outside of town. Virgil was shot and killed in his armchair while Katie was shot in the face and ran out the house. We spoke about this in the previous episode.
She did more than just run out the house. She did some other bad things first.
What year was that film? Was that made?
76.
So now, with that also being said, I want to know the correlation between a couple of other things, though, because if you look back on these movies and stuff like that, the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre was made in 1974. The whole Tobe Hooper version.
What date did the movie premiere?
For which one?
The Town That Dreaded Sundown.
Give me a second.
Captain Folklore.
Failing us, Ed.
No specific date. It was 1976 when it was created.
You said that could be considered one of the first slasher films because it predates Halloween by 2 years. So now my question is, but like when Tobe Hooper made the Texas Chainsaw Massacre in 1974, would that be considered one of them? And do you think the possibility of maybe Leatherface might have been a little bit, inspired maybe by these murders too?
It could be a possibility.
I mean, in the beginning of the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre, they talk about how these were based off of actual events. But Tobe Hooper later on said the reason he said that is because the American public will believe anything that's given to them on a screen.
This is true. So, The Town That Dreaded Sundown premiered in Texarkana on December 17th, 1976, before receiving a nationwide theatrical release on December 24th by American International Pictures.
Mm-hmm.
The reason why I was asking what date was it released is because we span from February to May of 1956, and then 20 years later, we get a movie based off of it. That's where I was going. I was trying to see how closely does this correlate to that time frame. Which
in Texarkana, they hold like a little film showing of The Town That Dreaded Sundown every year when the murders happen.
I will say this though, I feel like, and I mean, I understand now it's kind of like their own little slice of history there, but I feel like when in 1976 when they first viewed it at Texarkana, I feel like that's got to be in poor taste in some way, shape, or form.
I agree.
Yeah, I agree with that.
But absolutely. I mean, hey, they leaned into it.
Well, look at what Salem does with the witch trials.
I mean, but that was in like fucking the 1600s. Come on, man. There's been time to get over it. So what? You feeling some type of way over there? Ooh,
maybe.
Spooky. What are you going to do all the way from Texas?
So the folklore about the movie and what actually happened, Betty Jo Booker, who was 15, she was a saxophonist for the high school band called the Rhythmaneers that played weekend shows at the local VFW.
That's a cool name, the Rhythmaneers.
In the movie, she is depicted as being a trombone player instead of a saxophonist. The reason being to show a more terrifying demise.
I'm curious as to how that matters.
My thoughts, exactly.
Is it because they wanted to refer to as a tromboner?
Did they use the trombone in her death scene?
Yes. In her death scene, he attached a knife to it and was
stabbing her with it.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Man, could you imagine that's a solo from hell?
There's really not much folklore between the actual events and what happened in the movie. That was the only, I guess, major thing was that they switched out the instrument.
They murdered her with a trombone. That's a huge difference.
Yeah. I mean,
I don't know, man. I feel like when it comes down to brass instruments, I got to say the French horn probably goes hard. So I think that'd be like, or a tuba. That's where you want to be killed by. I'd be embarrassed to be killed by anything with the name Bone in it, you know?
Listen, my mom played French horn, and I really don't think she would want to be killed by one.
But I mean, could you imagine getting fucking topped by a fucking tuba? Just, you know?
Well, going back to them screening the movie every year, it just makes their urban legend grow even more.
Yeah.
Because not only I'm like 99% sure that the people who were around at that time are not alive today.
Yeah, most likely.
No.
So now you got new generations, either they watch the movie and then they go down the rabbit hole and try to figure out, what act. Right.
Do you think Yul Sweeney's currently in the afterlife getting his ass kicked by like 3 different people?
I would really like to think so.
And plus, they also made a sequel / remake to The Town That Dreaded Sundown. I watched both back to back.
They gave it the House of Wax treatment.
Yeah, sort of. But the killer was like the grandson, the great grandson of the original Phantom Killer. Now, in the original movie, they never gave the Phantom Killer a distinctive name. It was just the Phantom Killer.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how they kept it in the sequel, which was produced by Blumhouse.
I do think that because Sweeney was out by the time that movie came out. It came out like 3 years after he got out. Do you think he went to go see the movie
in '76?
Oh,
I mean,
just sat there giggling to himself.
Who's to say he didn't? Who's to say he didn't? Maybe he did.
He had that shit on fucking Laserdisc. He bought it,
Laserdisc.
I bought it on Betamax and fucking.
No.
Then I got the VHS later on.
But yeah, there's not much folklore to the actual events and what the movie depicted.
Other than, I don't know how I feel about that particular death.
When I watched it, was it a shock type of killing to me? No, because I think I'm desensitized from all these other horror movies, so I don't think it was that bad.
Yeah.
But maybe in '76,
when you've got stuff like that doesn't happen and all of a sudden you're watching it on screen, it definitely landed home.
Mm-hmm.
The way that they wanted it to.
But it seems like Texarkana celebrates this every year, which in my opinion is something not to be celebrated.
No.
Well, look, and during that same time frame between that, I'll bring back up the time frames of that movie, the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, in 1973, The Exorcist came out. They were at this little strip of time during the 70s where everybody was constantly trying to top themselves with things that would be
edgy.
Yeah, that's exactly it. So I feel like that's why they did some of the shit they did in that movie,
Right.
That while it's taking artistic liberty, but I feel like it still would be considered poor taste to first release it in the actual town where it fucking happened.
Right.
The town that dreaded sundown. That's where we are right now,
Right.
That's like making a movie completely about Cropsey and then showing it in Staten Island before anywhere else.
Right. No, I've got to agree with that. It's definitely it's definitely poor taste all the way around. But at the same time, especially for
this is no disrespect to the people of Texarkana, but
absolutely not. Absolutely not. Who was the parole officer?
Dildo McSwain, I know him.
Give me a second. Mark
And this-
Mark Bledsoe.
Okay, so
Now, what the
Mark-
fuck were you saying, like Baladucci or some shit? That's a
Manucci.
completely different name.
It was Manucci that did all this.
Okay, so Mark sees it at 7th grade, so 12, 13 years old. Well,
It says, well, according to Mark, he developed a passion for the case in the 90s. He saw the original film when he was a 7th grader.
right.
Let's watch it. But never mind. Never mind.
Let's not even go there. How
Never
old
mind.
were we when we saw our first horror movie?
I was real young. I used to watch
Yeah.
Friday the 13th
Yeah.
when I was
Right. So look at what the kids are watching nowadays. I mean,
Touche.
I just took my 13-year-old today to go see the final, The Amazing Digital Circus, the last act in theaters today. So, I mean, look at what our kids are watching now. Is it in poor taste? Yes, absolutely. But I
I just
can't.
want to watch that Backrooms movie.
I want to go see the Backrooms movie because she's Louise. But it inspired him to later go down the line 20 years thereabouts to actually interview and say, I'm convinced, here's what I know, the same thing that we're doing now.
Right.
Regardless on what the taste of it is or how
It's bringing awareness, I guess.
exactly, it's bringing attention to it. And look at what was happening in the 70s. You had Dahmer, you had Bundy, you had Gacy, you had later on a little bit down the line, Richard Ramirez. You had this onslaught of this is happening in real life. This happened in real life here in this area. And it's solved, sure. Still unsolved, absolutely. You can take it both ways. It sparks interest. It gets people thinking. Sometimes it goes in the way wrong direction. Other times it can actually lead to some good, like Mark used it for.
Now look at the other things that were going on in the 70s. The Cold War, a boom in the American auto industry, gas shortages, you know?
Yeah.
So, I mean, that the 70s were a fucked up time.
What a time to be alive.
Then you had like the fucking bicentennial, you know?
Mm. So, gentlemen, now that we have our information, what are our final thoughts on the Texarkana Moonlight Murders? I, for one, think, fuck you, Sweeney. And Peggy. That's all I got on that. However, I've got to give it to Mary Jean Larry and Katie Stark. They are truly the badass women of this entire horror show. Mary tried to get help. She tried to get help for Jimmy Hollis. She tried to be involved in the investigation as much as she could. Katie got shot in the face, had her teeth blown out of her head, still tried to crawl for her gun. When that didn't work, she played dead until she could get to her neighbor's house, which, mind you, she and her husband lived on a 500-acre farm. So her neighbors weren't necessarily close. She had to go a fucking ways with gunshots to the head. Not to take away from any of the other victims and their families, Katie and Mary Jean were the absolute badass women heroes of this story.
Cadaver, your thoughts?
Texarkana seems like a real fucking lame place to go. I mean, no disrespect to them. I'm just
Yes, no disrespect to the people of Texarkana.
yeah, just your town sucks, bro. Sorry. I 100% think that Yoel Sweeney was the right guy to be fucking fingered in this. No homo. But
There it is.
I do believe that was the right dude, and I feel like it's complete and utter bullshit that he got off on a technicality for something. I believe that Peggy was 100% completely involved, and I feel bad that the other guy's nickname was Duty, because that sucks.
It's a terrible nickname.
It definitely is. You know, it's just ugh.
Eddie, your thoughts?
I do believe it was Yul Sweeney, 100%, regardless of what all these other people's opinions are that, oh, it wasn't him, it was a different guy. You know, the police just needed to pin it on Sweeney because he was the guy to pin it on. I believe it actually was him, and his wife Peggy definitely had some involvement in it. What that involvement was, I don't know. You don't know. Nobody knows. But I believe she definitely had some type of involvement within these murders.
Absolutely. So definitely join us for the next episode where we are filming live from Texarkana.
Oh, fuck. God damn it.
But in all honesty, please hit that like button, make sure that you ring the notification bell, and leave a comment down below. What are your thoughts on the Texarkana Moonlight Murders?
Yes, please comment, because the more comments helps the algorithm and it pushes the video out to you.
Yeah, that stuff. That shit. Let us know.
Technical stuff.
Yeah.
Technical stuff. Let us know who your favorite serial killer is, or who would you like to hear us do next. No homo. As always, I'm Kat Quinn.
I'm Eddie Winchester, and it sounds weird coming from her when she says it.
I'm Cadaver the Clown. I second this message.
And this is Folklore and Felonies. Catch you on the next one.